Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
August 27, 2021, the Will Holmes Tell a Tale edition. And we begin with that story from the Wall Street Journal. Elizabeth Holmes' trial could reveal her side of the Theranos story. Obviously, putting on her on the witness stand presents huge risks for the defense team. Nevertheless, she is one persuasive woman and persuaded lots of people who are far smarter than her to part with billions of dollars. The defense seems to be evolving to that, well, she didn't believe it was fraudulent, it was all working, so how could she engage in intentional fraud when she believed it? So it's going to be a fascinating trial, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. Staying in the legal world a little bit, the lawyers behind Bill Ackman's retreat from his SPAC to moving to a SPAC may be suing more of them. The lawyers who prompted him to make changes in his special purpose acquisition company could target more of such vehicles. And indeed, they might target up to 50 different SPACs in lawsuits. This theory that they put forward is that SPACs really are not companies but investments that need to be regulated. So that one's we're going to watch too as well. From, I guess we're staying in legal today. ABC News calls for, perhaps we should have called this the legal edition. ABC News calls for an independent investigation of its investigation of allegations of sexual assault by a staffer against producer Michael Korn and a former staffer in separate incidents. The allegation was allegedly investigated by ABC and did not find anything to move forward on it with, but the alleged victim has now sued in U.S. federal court and has sued ABC and the parent company Disney. So the president of ABC has asked for an investigation to look at their investigation, properly recognizing that we cannot investigate us with any credibility. So the bottom line is, if you do an in-house investigation, there may well be not simply repercussions from your investigation, but challenges to your investigation going forward. And we've seen that begin to happen in FCPA cases. So if you're one of those folks that specializes in internal investigations, you need to pay attention. And finally, 6 Capitol Police officers sued Trump and his allies over the insurrection which took place on January 6th. The suit implicated members of the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, and Trump associates like Roger Stone. This is in addition to 3 other similar lawsuits filed on recent months, and this was the first to allege that Trump worked in concert with far-right extremist and political organizers who were propagating his baseless lie that the election had been he had been cheated out of the election and that the vote for Joe Biden was fraudulent. So the legal woes for Trump and his fellow travelers continue, and we will follow this legal case equally as well. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.